Camera ain't on?
Normally the click you'll hit.
Okay. Why it ain't on?
It was on the other one.
Huh?
You in the right one now?
Yeah, let me. Okay, let me. I don't know
No.
what's going on with that.
Everything the same because it came on a few minutes ago.
I know, but why it's not on now?
Yeah, you might. Some now that screen you are wrong or something.
I'm looking at this. Let me see.
Yeah, something wrong.
Camera. So let me come back out. Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Can I? They can't hear me.
Did you add them on?
Let's see. Hey, shalom, brother.
Shalom, how you doing, brother?
Man, trying to fix this thing, man, got me going crazy, man. Like 357 said, Juicy got me crazy over here, brother. What's going on with you, brother?
Man, ain't nothing to it. Sitting there trying to maintain, trying to just, be patient.
Kind. Shalom, family, shalom, family. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barakatah. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Kind. I don't see anything. Phoenix said he don't see nothing. Was y'all able to see anything on the what you call them?
On the what?
On the YouTube live? Did you see
Nah,
any
man.
I'm
Nah.
telling
No.
for
It
real.
seemed like it went away.
Did it go away?
Yeah.
Man, hold on. Tell him let me see. Well, how you got on from through the phone?
Yeah, I hit the link you just sent.
Okay then, kind. Alright. Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. Man, sorry for the technical difficulties, man. Again, why?
Papa, what do I hear?
I'm seeing a lot of devices disconnected.
Click on the line, that's a trick. Yeah. Don't let him have. No. Hell no. Give me the black. Just give that one to me. Because he don't need it.
Okay, you good now? Kind. Just waiting for the brothers on, man. I got caught up, man. Shalom, 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 shalom. Shalom, family. Waiting for, he say, Brother Phineas said, you good now? All praises. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Um, let's see.
Damn it.
Let's see. Shalom, shalom.
Get somewhere and sit down.
Trying to see. I got. See, device is not connected. What's this right here? That was you?
I'm on.
Okay, that got Brother Phineas. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. I got
Yeah.
audio?
Yeah, kind. All praises.
All praises, all praises.
All praises, all praises. Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. All right. All praise, all praises. So we gonna go ahead and get this thing started, man. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Barakatah. Welcome to Bring It Out TV. I'm your boy, Brother Eliezer. Got a small introduction. We gonna go and get this thing started. Welcome, man. This your boy, Brother Eliezer, man. We are the Hebrew Israelites, man. And I got my family with me, man. Like Sister Slayer said, man. All praises. I'm Brother Eliezer. Brothers, y'all introduce yourselves.
Brother Phineas.
And Brother Dion.
You muted, Brother Thomas.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Come.
Brother Thomas, how y'all doing?
Hey, shalom, brother. Shalom, man. What's going on, brother? We get Brother Dixon in. Brother Dixon.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey, shalom, brother. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Barakatah. What's going on, brother?
Y'all got it, man. Y'all got it. Been trying to get in for a minute here, man.
Yes.
Y'all got it worked out.
Shalakia, brother, is that working out them kinks, man. You know what I mean? Working out them little kinks. But all praises to the Yahweh, man, that we was able to get it cracking. Like the folks say in the street, we got it crack-a-lacking right now, brother.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right, man. So we gonna go into a couple things, brothers, man. Welcome to Bring It Out TV, man. Affiliated with Prince of Power and Maccabees, man. We your brothers, man. We here to bring out a leather of topics. What we need to discuss. One of the topics that we gonna discuss right now is this Roe versus Wade, man. They just passed, the Supreme Court just passed the new ruling out, man. So I'm gonna play the video and I'll get y'all thoughts on it. And I'm gonna play the video right about now.
Anti-abortion rights activists rejoiced outside the Supreme Court as the 50-year-old precedent guaranteeing the constitutional right to an abortion has been overturned. The court ruled to overturn its landmark Roe v. Wade decision of 1973. 5 conservative justices agreed to overturn a lower court's ruling that blocked Mississippi's 15-week abortion ban, which was filed by the state's last remaining abortion clinic. The 3 liberal justices dissented, while Justice John Roberts, in a concurring opinion, said Roe and Casey should remain untouched. The Roe decision protected a woman's constitutional right to abortion before a fetus was viable outside the womb. The new decision also overturned the 1992 decision of Planned Parenthood versus Casey, which said that states can't enact restrictions that would pose an undue burden on people trying to access abortion before a fetus is viable. In the majority opinion, Justice Samuel Alito said that Roe was wrong from the start and has had damaging consequences. The ruling now sends the decision on where abortions can be performed back to individual states. Tens of millions of women in the United States will be affected as more conservative states have been signing limits or bans into law. President Biden has said that the responsibility is on elected officials to pass legislation protecting the right to an abortion. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
Kind. So we seen that the Supreme Court have made a decision, man, on Shalakia. We seen that the Supreme Court have made a decision on Roe versus Wade, man. What are y'all brothers' opinion on that thing, man?
Yeah, I think it's. I think it should be up to the individual, man.
Okay.
Because anything could happen out here. A woman could get raped, and and get pregnant, and then but you still want to have the baby. Some of them want to make that decision. Like, no, that's my decision.
Right.
But I don't think they should force it on them like that. You know what I'm saying? It should be I know it's wrong, but you got to think about some of the situations that they got. That might come up. So it's a lot of situations, man. But I think it should be up to the individual person. But
I disagree. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say it's a couple of different points from my perspective. First of all, the creation of life. The Lord told us to procreate, multiply, and to get together and multiply and procreate. So that baby is the Lord's doing. The Lord created that child. So whether it's by rape, whether it's by any kind of nefarious means, you can always give that child up for adoption. But killing the child, in my opinion, should not be an option. And another point of it is, you got these people in Congress, in the Senate and in the government making these decisions. A lot of those folks are Caucasian folk, and it's not the high numbers of Caucasians that's being murdered in these Planned Parenthood places. It's high numbers of our people that are being murdered. Their baby making percentages is going down. You know what I'm saying? Ours is still, we still popping them out. And some of our women being not knowing and being unknowledgeable, and some of them have been taken advantage of. Some of them don't know, don't have the means to take care of these kids, so they grew up in a bad environment. That is detriment. I mean, that's not a good look. However, the Lord still created that child. So I believe it's your role not to kill that child. You're going to have to answer for that. So in my opinion, they should, it's always adoption. But killing the baby, in my opinion, should not be an option. I yield on that.
Okay. And we're not here to tell a lady what they should and should not do with their bodies, but we want to look at it from a biblical perspective, right? I think that I meant to look at the numbers of the number of women that's actually being that abort these babies through rape. But last time I looked, there was a very, very small percentage of that was happening. And so, what about the from the angle of being proactive? Because some of them are being raped, but we know a majority of our women's are having babies and just aborting them without being raped. All right. What about So what's the balance in that? Right. I want to brother Dion, give me that at Exodus 22:16. Exodus 22:16. Because I think we as Israel, we gotta be proactive into a lot of this stuff, men and women, right? So they give me that Exodus 22:16.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 16.
Uh huh.
And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
So what if we kept that law right there? What if we kept the law of a man sleeping with a woman and he making her his wife? Would that decrease the abortions? Because when you look back in the 40s and the 50s, when our grandmothers was having 10, 12, 14 kids, a lot of abortion wasn't going on then. Right? Matter of fact, it was illegal then. Right? So what if we kept that law if a man lay down with a woman and he married her? Would that? I'm just talking. I'm not giving an opinion. I'm just saying. Would that decrease the abortions in our community?
Anybody? Absolutely. Okay. But you got to couple that with the thou shalt not commit adultery. So once you understand those two very important laws and couple them together, then that would definitely bring those numbers down and help build stronger families in the process.
Yeah, can. So basically what it does, it goes back to God's laws. Right? Because even in God's laws that we weren't able to rape. You know what I mean? What we consider rape today, right? Right. It was consequences that, right? It was consequences. We see that in Brother Phoenix, you got that precept with Jacob, when they raped Jacob's daughter. Can you hear me, Brother Phineas?
Yeah, I got you. Let me look for it real quick.
Yeah, the water. So, anytime, and like I say, me and Brother Phineas were talking about this earlier today. What we consider rape today in the ancient world, they might not have considered actually raped. You know what I mean? So now we dealing with dispensations. But I want to just use one example of what happened. When a brother slept with a woman and see how their family took it, because you had a lot of things that went down in the ancient world. If a man slept with a woman, he wanted to be with her, he had to deal with the father, man. It wasn't just a man just want to just be with a woman, just go lay with her. Hey, you had to go take it up with the father, and the father had to give you his permission, etc. So you got the precept, Baba Kashai?
Genesis 30 and 21.
Genesis 30 and 21. The water, brother.
I can go ahead and read if you want me to. It says, and afterwards she bare Shalakia. Wives into their place. Nah, that wasn't it. That
ain't it?
Nah, hold on 1 second. That was when she was born. Okay, 46 and 15.
Let's see.
So I started down.
I'll look it up too. Let's see.
No.
I get along.
Yes. What I said, 36.
You said 30 and 16.
It's
No, 30.
34. I got it. It's 34. Shechem.
While the brother waiting, Sister Lisa, shalom, sister.
Shalom, how you got? How's everyone today?
All praise, all praise, all praises. And we wanted the young lady point of view on this topic, man. Let me get the article of Roe versus Wade so we all can know what we're talking about. All right, Shalakia, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Shalakia, brother Phineas. Let me share it real quick.
I found it.
You got it? Okay,
Yeah, it's 34 and 5.
Okay.
Let me read this real quick. This what the whole thing was about Roe versus Wade. It's titled 410 in the U.S. 113 in 1973 was a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court in which the court ruled that the Constitution of the United States generally protect a pregnant woman's liberty to choose to have an abortion. So that's what the whole Roe versus Wade was about women's having a right to choose to have an abortion, right? And this is what some of the things that they did in the Supreme Court, and they overturned the women's rights to right to choose to have an abortion. So, Sister Lisa, from a sister perspective, what do you think about that?
Before I came into the truth, I always thought that that's a woman's right to choose, because that's her life, and you know what I mean. Before I came into the truth, now that I know better, I realize now that that's something that you cannot do anymore. But prior to that, I always thought it was a woman's choice to do that.
Okay. All praises. And look, man, and we sympathize with our sisters, man. We know that this is a male-driven world, and everybody is fighting for their voice to be heard. So we don't take that for granted, man. We just having a conversation. Let you know we all not monolithic. Everybody got their own way of thinking, and so we just having these conversations between brothers and sisters. All right, Brother Phoenix, you got that precept?
Genesis chapter 34 and verse 5. It says, and Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longing for his daughter. I pray you give her him to wife, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. I dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah, their sister, and they said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughter, and we will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem and Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do this thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hamor and Shechem his son came into the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, these men are peaceable with us, therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein for the land. Behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein with the men consent. Only herein will the man consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people. If every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised, shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearken all that went out of the gate into the city, and every male circumcised all that went out of the gate for his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that the two sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out.
Okay, so you see right there, where our forefathers did play, man. You know, they put judgment, and they said they had defiled Dinah, and said this thing should not be in Israel, to let you know that prophecy of Israel dealing with these other nations was already set even before Moses came down from the mountain of Sinai. This is why I say this thing in Israel should not be so. That Dinah, which was an Israelite, dealing with someone of another nation. All right, she said this thing in Israel should not be so, man. So that's it, man. Anybody else got anything on that Roe versus Wade, man? We'll move on to the next topic. Brother Michael, shalom, brother.
Hey, shalom, family.
You got anything on Roe versus Wade?
Nah, not right now.
Go ahead. Somebody said Shalakia.
Khan. The only real big problem that I see is when, like I said before, when the government puts their nose in it, and it becomes more of a not a democracy, but what's the opposite of democracy?
A dictatorship.
A dictatorship. When the government starts to tell you what you can do with your body, then that's when it's a problem. We are listening to God. We're supposed to be listening to God, not the government. Okay. That's when, that's when we go off at. When they start making it a dictatorship and they making decisions for the whole nation, that's not we the people.
Right.
You're going against what this country is built on. Well, not necessarily. I mean, I know it's built off of slavery and a lot of blood, but it says we the people on all the money. You know what I mean? So when when that dictatorship takes over and we're not listening to God, that's another problem. Right.
Yeah, I mean, but that this we on a democracy with illusion of we in a dictatorship with a delusion of a democracy, bro.
Huh.
You know what I mean? So we all know how that runs down. But yeah, man, all points well taken, man. Somebody else said Shalakia. Somebody else want to get a point in? Brother Thomas, you got something to say, brother?
No, I got nothing right now.
All praises, all praises. So we just, like I said, we just having a conversation. It's no right or wrong answer, you know, and that's what make America America, right? That we could be able to have these opinions, you know what I mean, without the repercussions and the backlash, right? So we're gonna go through to another topic on black crime. Why yeah, brother Dion got jokes out there. We gonna go through another video, man. Black on black crime, and we just gonna go through these videos and see what is the is it problematic or not? What things? How Shalakia? How we as a people allow belief to separate us, separate our ethnicity. We teach ethnicity because the Bible teaches about the Israelites. It's no replacement theology. That don't mean salvation is not open up, and we can get into salvation. But right now we just talk about ethnicity, right? So we're gonna get to next video about this black on black crime. Shalakia, I'm in the wrong. There we go. Shalakia, give me one moment. One moment, Shalakia. Where is that video? There you go. Shalakia.
The protests continue in Detroit and across the country. A new topic of debate has been coming to the forefront.
Today at 5, we showed you how many are discussing black on black crime and the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, in part 2 of our conversation with community leaders, Larry Spruill shows us some of the solutions they hope can help solve the problem.
There are a lot of passionate opinions when it comes to this topic, and not everyone I talked to agreed on why this is happening, but they did say we do need a solution. 2020 rocked our country to the core. It revealed 3 large problems. The world is fighting a global pandemic. Hundreds of thousands of people died because of it. But the next 2 issues have been around for years, long before now. Racial injustice among African Americans and black on black crime. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. says a riot is the language of the unheard, and what is that America has failed to hear? Now the NAACP is marching on Washington once again. 57 years after the original march, still with the same mission, making sure their voices are never buried. Camilla Landrum, the executive director of the Detroit NAACP, says this march is critical.
I love the energy of everyone that is willing to uplift their voices and to make sure that we are in a space where the moment does not die.
Now, some say black on black crime is also killing African Americans, but there's very little outcry. Local 4 obtained crime numbers for the city of Detroit starting last August to present day. Violent crimes like homicides are up 24% compared to 2019, but sex assaults, robberies, carjackings all down from last year. Landrum says the lower numbers mean community outreach is working.
A lot of times the work that is being done within communities to address issues such as black on black crime, even though I don't really like that term, it doesn't get the highlight, it doesn't get the attention.
Dr. Rose Moulton is a licensed clinical psychologist and a racial healing specialist for an organization called New Detroit. We asked her what she thought could help end black on black crime. She sent this statement. It says, implement more accessible community programs to promote emotional and mental wellness and heal trauma. The traumatized mind is disconnected and oftentimes lacks empathy, which makes heinous acts more likely to occur. Pastor Marvin Winans of Perfecting Church here in Detroit says the church has a role to play as well.
If you go back and look at John Lewis and Andrew Young and Jesse Jackson, you will find that there were reverends in front of all of their names, because the answer has to come out of the church.
Winans, a well-known gospel singer and preacher, says that answer is prayer, but prayer must be followed with action.
Are there political solutions? Are there laws that need to be passed? Oh, absolutely. Do I believe that there is systemic racism? Absolutely. And a lot of people saying we need to fix. No, we need to destroy, because it's not broke. When we see these things happening, it's not too far from our past.
There are several organizations that are taking on this fight, and for more information on how you can help, it's on our website. Click on Detroit.com. Reporting in Detroit, Larry Sproul, Local 4.
Kind. Shalakia.
After 72 people were shot in one weekend in the city of Chicago, that city's mayor is calling for everyone there to work together.
And Jenna, that violent weekend is also shining a spotlight on another issue. And it's an issue some don't talk about. Who is killing these black victims? Now,
that's a whole nother conversation right there. That is a whole nother conversation. So what do you think, man? Pastor Winans, man, said that, yeah, laws need to be passed, man. He said laws got to be passed, man. You know what I mean? And that's problematic, man, because we don't want to keep the laws of God, but then we want the laws of this land to govern us, right? So what do y'all think, man? What's the problem in the black community, man? Why so much crime? Why so much bloodshed? Why so much? We just got off the abortions that, the abortion rates among the blacks is the highest death rate of by all means of murders. So what do y'all think, man? What is the solution for the so-called black man?
Shalakia.
Go ahead.
So we got, what are the two, where is that at? The two greatest commandments?
Yeah, that's Mark 12 and verse 28.
Let me bring that out real quick. Mark 12 and 28.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think a lot of the commandments hinge off of these two right here. And it read, this is Mark chapter 12 and verse 28. And one of the scribes came, and having heard them reasoning together, and perceiving that he had answered them well, asked him, which is the first commandment of all? And the Messiah answered him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. And the second is like, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. So with that second commandment, it encompasses a whole lot. When you love your neighbor, you don't cheat on you don't go after his wife. You don't try to kill him. You don't try to rob him. You basically, all your dealings is either correcting him or fellowshipping with him. So that changes the dynamic of, all the relationships. If everybody would just take that commandment into consideration, that changes the paradigm shift is huge. And it goes across, and it can encompass all of Israel if we would just pay attention to that, and that would knock out that black on black crime in one full swoop.
Yeah, kind. And that's the reason why it's imperative that we understand how to link the scriptures up, right? Because I'm on the street talking, you'll hear a lot of Christians say, well, we only have 2 commandments, right? But we got to understand that what Yahweh Shah was quoting, who people call Jesus Christ, he was quoting the law, right? Brother Michael, give me that in Romans 13, start at verse 8. Romans 13 and 8. And this is how you love your neighbor, right? Because like the brother said, and brother Dion, give me that in Leviticus 19, start at verse 17, right? So the brother put the precept, and this is how you love your neighbor, right? So give me that real quick. And Brother Feeney, if you will, give me that in Luke 10 and verse 28.
You want that Romans first?
Yeah, Romans first, kind.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 13, starting at verse 8. Owe no man anything but to love one another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law.
Say it again.
It say, for he that love another hath fulfilled the law.
Go ahead.
For this, thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet. If there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor, therefore love is the fulfilling of the law.
See that? So love working no ill towards his neighbor. So that's what Brother Dion was saying. Like if you love your neighbor, we kept those laws, then we won't be killing each other, right? We won't be stealing from each other. We won't be, a lot of this time when brothers be killing each other, it's either about money, about some woman, right? And these are the things that contrary to the law. Because if the woman got a husband, there's no need for another man to be fighting about another man husband, wife, right? So this is the law that we gotta love one another, right? As your neighbor, right? So give me that in Leviticus 19, 17. And Brother Feeney is Luke 10 to 25. Start at 25. But let me get that in Leviticus 19 to 17 real quick.
This is Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
Right. So when correction is love, like, you know what I mean? When we see our people going wrong, or our people might see we doing wrong, to correct one another, that's love, right? And you seen that a lot in the 70s and the 80s. It didn't have to be your mama. It didn't have to be your daddy, right? My mom was good friends to Miss Willie Mae. You know what I mean? Her husband name is Mr. James. If I was down there doing something, they had the right to whoop my butt. And then I got home and got another whooping, man.
That's right.
All right? That was love, man. Because if my mama didn't see it, my daddy didn't see it, our neighbors loved us enough to chastise us.
That's
right. But nowadays, you chastise somebody's child if you want to. You're going to have problems, man. All right? So you have problems. So, Brother Phoenix, give me that in Luke 10 and 25.
Luke chapter 10 and verse 25, it says, and behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? He said unto him, what is written in the law? How readest thou? And he answered and said, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. And he said unto him, thou hast answered right. Do this, and thou shalt live.
Shalakia, man, I'm getting a feedback from somewhere from earlier. Hold on for 1 second. I don't know where that's coming from. All right. I don't know what that was. Go ahead, brother.
But he, willing to justify himself, said unto Jesus, and who is my neighbor? And Jesus answered and said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance, there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him. And he went to him, bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine to set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn and took care of him. And on the morrow when he departed, he took out 2 pence and gave them to the host and said unto him, take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay. Which now of these 3 thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? And he said, he that showed mercy on him. Then said Jesus unto him, go and do thou likewise.
Yeah, kind. He said, go and do thou likewise, man. We cannot be neighbors only by words, man. It take action to love your neighbor, man. And we too often like to talk a good game, man. Right? We like to talk a good game. Brother Dion, give me that in Ezekiel 33 and verse 30. We like to talk a good game in Israel, man. And that's not only those that's in the Christian churches, man. It's brothers right here, fringes and with ribbon and blue, man. We got such a disdain for each other, depending on what camp you belongs to, what color on your shirt, man. We Crips and Blood with Bibles, man. Like, we ain't coming together as a nation, right? We still have this disdain among each other, man. All right. So give me that Ezekiel 33 and verse 30, man.
This is Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 30.
Okay.
Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy word, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness.
See that? The Most High say after with their mouth, man, they talk a good game, but their heart go after their covetousness, man. So this is the problem, man. The Bible says, give me that, what is that, James 1 and verse 22? James 1 and 22. Don't be hearers of the word, man, but doers, man. Give me that James 1 and 22.
This is the book of James.
No, Slack, you go ahead. Go ahead. You good.
This is James 1 and 22. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
What is they doing?
Be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
See, a lot of us in deception, man. Now we got strong delusions, man. And so, the Most High expect more out of us that we know better now, man. And we still have such a disdain for ourselves, man. Y'all brothers got anything to add, Brother Phineas, and y'all other brothers and sisters? Y'all got anything to add to this black on black crime, man?
Shalak.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, it's what we are bringing out, for the people that we got to, we got a lot of work to do. I just put it that way. This Black on Black crime, man, it's a never ending battle here. It's been going on for 400 years. But we need to come back to God, man, and that's what's gonna stop all this. What it is, we haven't been taught. Some of us have. I ain't gonna say all of us, but the Bible say, train your kid up in the way that he should go.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people ain't training. They friends with their kids. They even scared of their kids, you know, and not raise them up the right way. And so the kids don't have no fear, to their parents. And so that's what's going on out here in the street. That we haven't been taught. And we got to, a lot of kids out here don't know what to do out here because they haven't been taught. And so you can't blame them. Everything starts from the house, from your home. If they ain't been taught, they're gonna come out here and do what they think is right.
Right.
So Esau, he gonna get a hold to it. You know, we've been locked up. We locked up out here at a phenomenal rate. Killing our own people at a phenomenal rate. We love everybody, but we don't love ourselves. So
right,
that's got to be corrected. The only way it's gonna be corrected is what the book said. We got to gather ourselves together on nation desire and come back. But it's gonna take everybody. Like I say, we got a lot of work to do out here. It's gonna, we can preach the word all day, and if they gonna get it. So we just hoping and pray that our people come back and so we can have peace, man. It's not gonna be no peace here.
Okay. Give me that in Deuteronomy 28 and 54. I'll be remiss if I don't pull Deuteronomy 28 and 54, man, because these are biblical prophecies that we not gonna be able to get around, man. And this next clip I got set up before to end it. It gonna go into these go into something where a lot of people miss. And when it pertains to the scriptures, man, they miss prophecies. So let me get that Deuteronomy 28:54.
I got it.
Okay.
This is Deuteronomy 28:54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Go ahead.
So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates.
Okay. So all praises to the Most High, man. Go ahead.
Lock y'all. I got a precept on you loving your brother, man, because at the end of the day, it's like This go hand in hand with loving God and loving your brother, like peanut butter and jelly. You know, like Smokey said, man, ham and no burger. You did. So this is 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. It says, if a man say I love God and hate his brother, he is a liar. But he that loveth not his brother whom he have seen, how can he love God whom he have not? And this commandment have we from him, that he who loves God love his brother. So when you see brothers, black on black crime, man, these brothers don't love God, man. Because there's no way you can kill your brother and say you love God at the same time. You know, they're just like Esau. They say they love God or whatever, but they tell them, make sure the rope tight on. You know, it's something wrong. It's something wrong now. You know, our brothers, we hate God, bro, at the end of the day, man. So I yield on that, bro.
And yeah, and I think that I think it's the what's more problematic is we was never taught how to love God. I think that the Christian church primarily have done a horrible job on teaching us how to love God. You know what I mean? And so now when we don't see God in one another, you know, we gonna have a disdain for that, and it's human nature, man. You know, it's human nature to value and love something more when you see value in it. But when you don't see value in something, it's like some old shoes, man. You don't see no value in old shoes, but as soon as you get them brand new shoes, you wiping them off, you get it cleaning them off because you value those shoes, man. And so we don't value one another. We don't see God in one another. And so a lot of that I think come from, and this is my opinion, a lot of that is coming from is not having positive influence as it comes to one another. You know what I mean? Everything we have seen when it came to the Caucasian race, even though we see, you know, slavery, Jim Crow, and all that stuff, but to us, that's a distant past. But the near future, the thing that we see is people looking like us is the one that hurting us, and the Caucasian is the one that being our allies. They giving us welfare, they giving us food stamps and housing and all this stuff. So all we see is that positive influence when it comes to people. Even when we out there teaching on the Shabbat, the homeless people who out there passing out sandwiches. All right, it's the Caucasian race that do it. That's out there that passing out sandwiches. And me and Brother Fee was talking about that. We as Israel, we got to do better about serving the homeless, man. We got to do better, man, about feeding our people that's less fortunate, man. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. So I think we all could do better on that of loving our neighbors ourselves, and we got to get understanding when you go into Sirach 12 about knowing who that not give it to the godly, man. We got to understand these scriptures a little better, man, because a person, what the Bible say, when a man, when you was ignorant, he winked at it. Sirach was on the time of brothers keeping the law. They was raised in the law and choose not to keep it. That's a different dispensation. This dispensation we in, people don't know they even have to keep that law. Right? They don't even know they got to keep that law because they don't understand. We all didn't know we was Israel. This all new to us, man. 7-8 years in the truth. Right? I've been more outside the truth than I have been inside the truth, man. So, we gotta understand dispensations, and sometimes we look at certain laws and we try to hold those laws, but we can't hold them because these people don't know they Israel. They don't know who they are. See what I'm saying? So we got to do a better job of taking care of the homeless, man. in our community. Y'all brothers got anything else? Go ahead.
Yeah, just to stay on that point and to just delve a little deeper on it, because the Leviticus 19:17, love thy neighbor as thyself. Yahweh Shai went a little deeper in John 15:12. It says, "This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you." All right, giving an example. All right, sometimes we'll think this is the same law, but this is a different law. I love each other the way I loved you. Verse 13, it says, "Greater love have no man." Excuse me, Salaki. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. All right, that a man lay down his life. There's no greater love than that. So the base level of love, we got the greatest level of love. Is the greatest level of love is one laying down their life for their brother. The smallest form of love is us bringing correction and rebuke, and reproof. Making sure that we not going off, keeping brothers out of sin and iniquity. We dealing with systematic racism. We can't just say one thing's doing it, man. It is a whole system that has been attacking us, influencing our youth, influencing all of us to move a certain way. It's like I said, no coincidence. Everybody play Madden, smoke weed, and and watching P Valley and watching P Valley season. They are are manipulating us and creating us and we have to understand this. Nothing that we're meditating, everything that we put in, everything we're viewing, everything we're listening to, it all counts. It's all seeds. It's all seeds, and it got to be balanced out. I'm not saying that you can't go watch some movies, you can't have a little something every now and then, but it got to be balanced out, man. You can't be just digesting that. You can't just be watching a whole, watch 5 seasons of a Cardinal show back to back, and you didn't balance that out with any other word. And so it's very important that we understand that. Verse 14, it says, "Ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you." And again, man, it's about what we're meditating on. These kids now, they're killing each other because that's what's fun. They've been taught and pretty much manipulated into feeling that that's the only way they entertain, and that's their right to manhood. All right, is to get a body, is to kill another black man, is to kill somebody from the other side or somebody that stays on the next block. That darn little beef in Chicago, that's the next street over. They be beefing over the next street over. It's like you in the same neighborhood. But now it done got so crazy now, like I say, man, people are killing each other for fun. Like the Negro, it really doesn't have fun unless he's getting high drunk or killing himself, or killing each other. And that's again comes from that systematic racism, man. The TV, the media, social media, signs, your workplace, everywhere, all those seeds get planted and manufactured. And we have to understand that a lot of times, man, we not raising our kids. Our kids not learning this stuff in the house. They're not learning how to be goons at home. A lot of times it's just what they're meditating on and what they listening to, man. And until we understand that and start isolating our kids and pulling our kids away from that stuff, the killing is going to continue to go on, man. And the article I had brought out, it was saying that the assault, the rape was down, the carjackings were down, but the killings were up 24% because that's what's in. They're not killing nobody for money. It's for fun. It's for clout. It's to get a record deal. And so, man, we just gotta know understand these things, understand some of the tools that are being used against our kids, against our children. We have to monitor what they're watching. You gotta kind of put up a screen, man, and isolate your kids. And you can't completely isolate them. That's why again, I was talking about the balance, man. You gotta kind of balance that thing out and make sure that you are feeding them the word. I'm a year with this though, just to hit on that abortion because somehow I didn't have audio when that clip at first played, but the even that it's still coming down to it just comes down to us keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. If we had the understanding that we supposed to marry these sisters, man, and be with them forever, we wouldn't have that abortion at that rate that we have it. We wouldn't have people going crazy about not having the opportunity to destroy their kids. And I also want us to just think about what they were doing with the kids during the times of Moloch, when they were passing the kids through the fire of Moloch and letting them kids get burned up there, sacrificing their children. Because they probably wasn't doing it because of belief, not because they believed in this, but because it was an opportunity to get rid of that responsibility. So a lot of this stuff just comes down to that, man. Us just not wanting to be responsible, us not wanting to be fixtures in our communities, us not wanting to be a good neighbor, and us not having shows like Mr. Rogers. These kids ain't with that. They don't know how to be a good neighbor no more, man. And so and us the gentrification. I had brought out about living in a certain community and the whole community could whip you. You can get 3-4 whippings before you get home, but you don't have that now because everybody having to move every year, every 2 years, every 5 years, and so the communities are not there. And then at the same time, don't nobody want nobody touching their kids, man. So I yield with that, man. Shalakia. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, all praises. And so, and the brother, all right, man. And a lot of stuff is learned behaviors. It's things that we've been taught. It's no such thing as neighborhoods no more, man. We could just look in your own neighborhood right now. How many people know their neighbors? Right now, I don't even know the person who stay next to me. I don't even know their first name. Right? Because we don't have neighborhoods no more, man. And so, shalom, Sister Shayla. How you doing, sister?
Shalom. Shalom,
hey,
everyone.
Hey, Shabbat shalom, sister. Have you heard any of the topics, sister?
I did see the topic as I was coming in. I haven't did research on it, but I do know it's most than likely talking about abortion laws. I've heard about that.
Okay.
How they're banning them. I've had a few people say some things to me about them, and you have to forgive me. I have not done my research on it, but I do know that they're saying that they're outlawing it in every state now. Is that true?
Right. Yeah, it's in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. So when it goes through the federal courts, that's pretty much everywhere.
Well, I think it's a wonderful thing that they're outlawing it in all 50 states. They need to outlaw it everywhere. It should have never became law in the first place. Those are my thoughts on it. But yeah, I'm just getting here, so I'm not too up to date on it. But those are my thoughts on abortion. Period. It never should have happened.
Okay, and see, this is what we do. We like to have conversations from men and women because to let you know that we all is not monolithic. Some men have certain opinions, some women have certain opinions, and that's what make us people, man. Ain't none of us they like to call us a cult, but ain't nobody over here trying to manipulate minds, man. We just want to do what's right by God, man. Just want to live right by the Most High, man. So so the water sister for your input on that, man. Anybody else got anything to say about this black on black crime? Anybody else? I got one more footage I want to play. And I'm gonna kind of scan through it because it's rather long. But the Jude, anybody familiar with Jude 13? Jude 3, Shalakia, Jude 3. Anybody familiar with that project? Well, Jude 3 is a group of brothers and sisters. They into apologetics. They Christian apologetic. They believe in Christianity, and really they setting a lot of these little small groups up to come against Israel. That's their main goal and purpose, right? So I got a clip on something they said, and I want to share it with the family. They did a documentary on is Christianity is a white man religion, and we had just did we did a video on it. It didn't come out too well, that's why I haven't dropped it yet. But we did a video on it as Christianity is a white man religion, and so they finally came out with their videos. But this interview happened prior to them dropping a documentary. They were trying to build it up toward the documentary. So I want to pull this this interview real quick, and then we'll scan through it. I want to get y'all input on it, and then we'll yield for the night. Let's get it real quick.
In a dramatic way to reach his people or to spread the gospel, I think you'll see all shades. I think you'd be hard pressed to see you cannot be over in Egypt, Ethiopia, Sudan. You can't be in those areas. If we just look at the group of people that are there now, you cannot be there and just say, okay, there won't be somebody who God didn't use in a dramatic way to reach his people or to spread the gospel. I think you'll see all shades. I think you'd be hard pressed to see a very pale white person in that group. Again, this is not an issue. This is not an issue in the scriptures at all in the Old Testament. It's not at all an issue. It only is an issue today for us because of the racist world we live in.
I'll speed up it just a little bit.
Boston campus, my specific alma mater, amen, and the Latin and Global Ministries program at South Hamilton campus of Gordon Conwell Seminary in Massachusetts. She serves on the board for the Society of Gospel Hymenot, amen. Professor Day has a Bachelor's of Arts in Economics from Emmanuel College, a Master of Social Work from Boston University, a Master of Divinity and a Master of Theology from Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary. And her doctoral studies have been at the London School of Theology in Northwood, England, and presently at Northwest University in South Africa. Amen. Amen. Powerful academic creds brought to the table today. As an instructor at Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary, she has taught courses in Old Testament survey, Genesis, Exodus, interpreting the Old Testament and New Testament, and the Hebrew language. She taught at the Meacham School of Hymenot, amen, in St. Louis, Missouri, and conducted seminaries for Pine Manor College and University of Vermont Campus Ministries. In addition, Professor Day is a public speaker specializing in the area of Old Testament and sexuality. She conducted numerous seminars and workshops focusing on Old Testament, sexuality, mental wellness, conflict resolution, and leadership development. Professor Day can be viewed on YouTube or on the Jude 3 Project, amen, as one of the guest panelists for the Courageous Conversations Conference. Professor Day is the author of Feminist, Womanist, and Gospelist Interpretations of the Daughters of Zelophehad, Bridging the Gap Amongst Competing Traditions, in the multi-authored book, Gospel Hymenot. Professor Day is an ordained minister with the Church of God, Cleveland, Tennessee. She has over 25 years of ministry experience as a teacher, counselor, outreach, formation minister. Additionally, Professor Day serves as the Director of Ministerial Care and Development at Deliverance Temple Worship Center in Dorchester, Massachusetts. So, beloved, I want to ask you to join me in welcoming Professor.
So, I went to her credentials to let you know that the sister is very educated, right? She's very educated. She's well studied. And so, what do y'all think about her credentials? Does that matter? And if it does, from what standpoint?
Shalafia.
Go ahead.
So, in my opinion, I don't think it matters, because if you don't have the spirit, then all of that's for naught. Like, you have been taught these things. You have been taught the scriptures from the perspective of probably someone without the spirit. So, yeah, it's not really no telling if you got the correct breakdown or not. And you teaching this, so you don't even know we don't even know if she has the correct breakdown of some of these scriptures. She got a master's, so that means you done been through the scriptures 200-3 times, 200 times. But that don't give her the proper authority. That don't mean that she got it all figured out. Plus, she's supposed to be quiet, so how she ain't supposed to be teaching nothing, especially not to the men. So that don't, none of that, all that he said don't mean nothing.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else got opinion on the sister's education? Okay. Brother Dion, give me pull me First Corinthians 1 and verse 22. And I just want to get a disclaimer real quick, and it's no knock on the sister, man, but we just got to understand when people highlight the accolades, right? It's to make you think that they know what they're talking about, and sometimes we get confused with people with well speaks, right? But we gotta understand, a lot of the people in the scriptures wasn't scholars. I mean, what you consider academic scholars today, right? So let's get that in 1 Corinthians 1 and 22.
It's 1 Corinthians 1 and 22. For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach Christ crucified, unto the Jews a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness. But unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, Christ the power of God and the wisdom of God. Because the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men.
Go ahead.
For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound things which are mighty.
Okay. So the scripture says that not many wise men after the flesh are called. And sometimes we understand these these wise men and women after the flesh, but they get taught academic, and then that's what they get their degrees in. So I just wanted to pull the sister, let them talk academics, and just kind of show you that because people have these degrees don't necessarily mean they make wise. So let me fast forward, and I want to get to the gist of the video. So let's go to Shalaki Kate.
Is this fundamental belief that black people are the descendants of the biblical Hebrews? And so I wonder if we could just kind of share our opinions about whether or not that's the case.
I think it's a setup kind of question, because when I hear things like that, black people are there. You can't say that we're not there. We're there. I think we sort of are looking at their modern context and saying, okay, black people, this is where we all come from, and we've always been in the world at all points. And so I guess I would go back to looking at, when the people come out of Exodus, the scriptures say they come out with a mixed multitude. And so that cannot be, even to say you don't believe there's any black people with the Israelite tribe, none at all. Well, when they come out of Egypt, you have to admit they come out mixed. They come out with other nations engrafted in them. You have, the Egyptians, you have people from Ethiopia, you have probably hired mercenaries that have decided, I'm going to stick around with the Israelite group because I saw all these plagues and this is the word of God, and I'm going to march out here. And so even if you didn't believe, say, I don't believe there's any Black people connected to Israel at all. When they come out of Egypt, you have to agree that they come out mixed. You look at Moses' wife; she's a Cushite. She is definitely Black. You look at Joseph's wife; she is African. That gives us Manasseh. That gives us Ephraim. That gives us these other groups. You cannot wash away Blackness. It's there, and so maybe it did not matter to the people when they came out who was Black and who was white. The issue with Miriam and getting upset that Moses married a Cushite woman wasn't that she was Black. We don't teach that really correctly. The issue is that she's other. She's not part of them. So that because Black people are there. So it can't be because she's Black. It has to be because she is other. She doesn't quite fit the mold. And Moses is like, I'm marrying this woman. So, and obviously she must convert. But
now
nevertheless, I do see
this.
Black people as part of the original Hebrews. But I also see them just always in existence, not just showing up through the Israelite tribe.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I mean, there's so many, I think that Cush is one of the most frequently mentioned, maybe second only to Israel, nations in the Old Testament. And it comes up, like you said, I mean, you mentioned Moses' wife, and there's also Ebed-Melech, who is the Cushite imperial official that helped Jeremiah. And there's all kinds of examples of Cushites, And so I think you're exactly right that, and I would hope that nobody is arguing that that there were no Black people or like either people who were, maybe predominantly of sub-Saharan African ancestry in Israel among the Israelites, or as you mentioned, people who were perhaps of a mixed ancestry of, Near Eastern and sub-Saharan African, extraction. I would hope that we all can read the Bible plainly enough to acknowledge that point, that there were certainly Black people or people of sub-Saharan African descent, among the Hebrews. But the question that I think we really need to get to, though, is the claim that's being made by the Hebrews, which is they're saying that Black people, every Black person in America or in the Americas or Europe or on the continent, that Black people are the descendants of the Hebrews. And then on the flip side, that the white people are the Gentiles or the Edomites, right? And so I would love your thoughts on that and, that particular claim.
Now, Shalakia. Now, the brother said that we think that all Black people are Israelites.
Right.
That all Black people in America and on the continent is Israelites. Is that what we teach?
No.
We don't teach that, right? We don't teach that all Black people are Israelites. Right? I'm gonna let the video keep playing. And she was and as you see, they trying to, and that's actually a white supremacy doctrine, because they trying to include us through the Cushite women, right? They trying to include us through the seeds of these other women's. Our forefathers going into these other women's, but them themselves was not Black. Did y'all catch that? So it said that we had mixed. She said it was a mixed multitude, right? That mixed multitude that came out of Israel, were they separate from Israel or were they inclusive with Israel?
They were exclusive.
They was what?
You said exclusive?
Right. Well, what I mean is, was it them and Israel, or was it just everybody all together?
It was them and Israel.
Right. It was a separate. It was them and it was cleaving to Israel, right? Did Israel, when the Most High when Moses brought the children of Israel out, did he know who Israel was at the time when it came out? Or was it just everybody was in there together like she just tried to make that claim? Because we're going to get into scriptures about that mixed multitude. So let's get it. Brother Michael, give me that in Exodus real quick. Exodus 12, and 36 through 38. Let's get it. Let's see what the scripture says.
All right, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 12, starting at verse 36. It's saying the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle.
Right. So when Israel came out of there, it was Israel and it was the mixed multitude that came with them. So it wasn't no division there where they came out like she trying to say. Like, of course, there were black people with them and da da da. So if Israel was not initially black, what color was Israel? If Israel was not initially black, what color was Israel?
Is that rhetorical?
Yeah, it sounds like it, don't it? See, because they trying to say that we mix with these women's, and the reason why, and this is before Solomon. You had it during the time of Moses, but this was people. Because remember Moses at the time, he went in there to got Israel. So Israel, and he had married what was that nation Moses married again? I can get it in Exodus 2. Let me get it real quick.
She a Cushite?
She was a Midianite, a Median, right? So she was from Midian, right? And I want to do a breakdown on those people from Midian too, man. But yeah, I just want to do a breakdown on that. But anyway, so Moses married a woman from Midian, and so, but the children of Israel at this time was all the way already around. See what I'm saying? So it could be from his seed, his lineage, where this Midian woman that Moses married, she would there to produce kids. They would have still been Levites. They wouldn't have been Judites. They wouldn't have been Benjamites. They wouldn't have been the other tribe. They would have been from one tribe. So what was Israel prior to that? I want to pull a precept. Brother Phoenix, you got anything, brother? Let me get it. This is the book of Exodus 50 and verse 6. I'll read it. It says, and Pharaoh said, go up and bury thy father according as he made thee swear. And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt, and all the house of Joseph and his brethren, and his father's house. Only their little ones and their flocks and their herds they left in the land of Goshen. And there went up with him both chariots and horsemen, and it was a very great company. And they came to the threshing floor of Adad, which is beyond Jordan, and there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning for farther 7 days. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, "This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians, wherefore the name of it was called Abazarim, which is beyond Jordan." So here it is, they considering the Israelites looking like the Egyptians. They couldn't make a distinction between Israel and the Egyptians. So how in the world, if we saying the Canaanites, the Cushites, and all of them was black, so that means the Egyptian had to be black because they was part of that lineage of the Cushites. They was part of the same lineage. They all from Ham. So they from Ham, all of them is black, and they looking at these people mourning, and it was Israel that was mourning for their fathers. Why did they consider them Egyptians? Right? Why did they consider? What you say?
I was just saying how they were all dark.
Because they was all dark. And see, the thing with our people is they like to deal with half truths. They don't just like to deal with the truth, man. They just like to deal with half truths. Because what the sister said the first time, he wanted to make sure that he corrected that and get her to say that we were not the people. That's what he was actually looking for. But I'm going to bring some more. Anybody else got anything? I think Brother Phineas say that. Let me see. So he on backstage. Come. All praises. Hold on. Let me get him back in. Shalakia, brother.
Nah, you good, Doc. It was... I don't know. I was losing audio when you played the video.
Oh, you couldn't hear it?
Well, I heard it though. I heard it through my phone. But
okay, yeah. Huh.
Yeah, the sister. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult to play with that unless you go into all of the history because the Egyptians didn't just have Israelites in the captivity. It was a mixed multitude. And if you know the little history of the Egyptians, they enslaved the Nubians, who were definitely a dark-skinned people.
Right.
And you'll have to speculate that there was mixing going on. Like, so those folks were of color, no matter how you look at it. I even think the Miriam thing. With her being dark, with the sister Moses Mary being dark, and her getting leprosy, and then he giving Miriam leprosy because of that. Since you're saying she's so dark, or what, it was an issue of them marrying the people, but it was also an issue of that was playing a part too, the dark, because then you had her being given leprosy. As a punishment for that. So this brother too, man, Dr. Bantu, Dr. Vince Bantu, man, I done seen him around a little bit, and he kind of does. I don't know, man. With the apologists, I don't. You can't say that this ain't a white man's religion and then try to say that, but the Israelites ain't black. I don't know how they trying to spin that. And that's why they having problems. And that's why they giving half truths, because you can't have it both ways. Like if you're saying that Christianity isn't a white man's religion, but you have to also say that this is an Israelite religion. Like Christianity is from Israelites. It is right. This is an Israelite book. This is an Israelite. It's about it's about the Most High, but it's about Israelites. It's about His chosen people. And how He's using them to glorify His name, and so it belongs to them. This was given to them, and if you're not going to say they're white, and you're going to say, or if you're going to say they're white, then you have to say it's a white man's religion. If you're not going to say they're white, and you're saying that there was a mixed multitude, and then it was people of color there. Then you have to say that you have to agree with Israel, and what we're teaching, that these folks were of color, man, and they really just not dealing with the matter. I think it's a tricky question. Is Christianity the white man's religion? Because it's you can't go to Christianity's not in Egypt. It's not in the wilderness. It wasn't walking with Yahushua. You know, it's really about 70 years after, you know, it's really about 50 years after his death. You know, it's really about 50 years after his death. And again, they won't give us that history and deal with it from that aspect. Yeah, if you're dealing with it from the book, you can say, yeah, you can say it's people of course, it's people of color there, but Christianity is not the book. It's the Christianity is a doctrine of it's a doctrine. It's a doctrine. It's a religion. It's a doctrine. And and so I would rephrase, you know, after knowing that, I would rephrase the question and then ask again, did they create the doctrine? Did white people create the Trinity? Did white people create don't keep the law? Did white people or did the Roman Catholic Church, you know, create, you know, all the Christmas and telling you December 25th is Christ's birthday? So, you know, some of those philosophies, did they create that? And that's stuff we don't see in the book, so we can't constitute the two.
Yeah, brother make a excellent point. Because a lot of stuff was really borrowed. When you start understanding, and we go to Jeremiah 10 and 2 all the time about how one cut of the tree out the forest. Well, that was in Babylon. That was in Babylon, right? That's a Babylonian custom. So yeah, and when you look at the Greeks had like 300 something gods, but most of those gods was reincarnated as Egyptian gods. You know what I mean? They had Isis and Thor, and all them gods was pleasurizing Egypt gods. So a lot of their gods they were just getting from other places, man. So, you know, but when people really say that, I think they be talking about modern day Christianity, going back into the whitewashing during the time of the Renaissance. And so I think we go to about the 13th century and we stop there. But a lot of these practices was happening way before the 13th century, man. You know what I mean? A lot of these practices was happening way before the 13th century. Anybody got anything else? I'm going ahead and finish this clip so we can go ahead and get up out of here because we got work to do, man. Anybody got anything else? Come on, let me fast forward a little bit. Let's go to 30. Fast forward a little bit because it's a long video, man. If y'all want to watch the video in its entirety, man, it's on a Jude 3 Project YouTube channel, man. Y'all can go and find it. It's our black people, the descendants of biblical Hebrews. Biblical Hebrews. That's the name of it.
Who just should you have Ruth? It's not just Ruth, but you have what's her name? Rahab gets in there. You have other groups with other shades who are recognized as full Israelites. And that's just so I would say for
Shalakia, was Rahab ever known as an Israelite? Was Rahab ever known as an Israelite?
La.
Right? Did she ever have to the text say she had kids from anybody in Israel? All right, like, so see, that's what I'm saying. She got all those degrees, but see how she misspeaking. She misspeaking on every current term, man. She said that Rahab got in there and she was Israelite.
Oh, she assisted the Israelite.
Right. Right, let's get that precept and I'm gonna keep moving. Let's go to Joshua 6 and 25, man. Joshua 6, 25 through 27. So she said Rahab got in there was an Israelite. But let's see what the Bible says. That's why I say she got all these degrees, but a lot of them still don't understand the Bible because they taught. Just like we was taught world history, right? Right, we was taught world history, but we weren't taught all world history. We were just taught the history they wanted us to know about, right? But as we got in this truth and started studying, we didn't realize how they had stole our identity. Was we taught that? Right? So there's a lot of things that we was not taught in school, and that's how people that goes into these establishments, they only taught what the curriculum teaches, man. So give me that in Joshua real quick, Baba Gashaw.
It's the book of Joshua, chapter 6, verse 25.
Okay.
It's saying Joshua saved Rahab, the harlot, alive, in her father's household, and all that she had. And she dwelt in Israel, even unto this day, because she hid the messenger which Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. And Joshua adjured them at that time, saying, Cursed be the man before the Lord that raises up and buildeth this city Jericho. He shall lay the foundation thereof, and his firstborn and his youngest son shall he set up the gates of it. So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was known throughout all the country.
Okay, that's it. She did well in Israel, and look, man, and we in Israel, man, we gonna have to get a grip of these strangers cleaving to Israel, man. We can't say the Lord never changes. We seen people coming out of Egypt cleaving to Israel, right? We can't say the Lord never changes. We can't go to Malachi 3 and 6 and says, therefore you sons of Jacob not consumed. I'm the Lord, I change not. And we seen these strangers cleaving to Israel coming out of Egypt, man. And we see this what happened to Rahab, man. When she did right by God's people, what did God do? God showed her favor. We see the same thing with the Kenites. In 1 Samuel 15, when they showed God favor, what did our forefather Saul say, man? Hey, man, you showed us favor, man. Get thee down from the Amalekites, man. And they said, man, hey, man, we out of here, man. You know, you showed us favor, man. So what the Most High say? Bless them that bless you and what? Curse them. They curse you, man. So, you know, we got to get over that. You know, we gonna do a Most High, Lord's willing, a breakdown on salvation. What does it mean? Because we say salvation, redemption, but it's another thing going on with that salvation that we never get into, man. So all praise the Most High willing. One more thing, and we gonna yield, man. We gotta get out there tomorrow. Hold on for a second.
Of Gentiles is that it's all, those are still Hebrews. They were just lost Hebrews from Assyria or the Samaritans or things like that. But it does not refer to, you know, any and every culture around the world. And so I wonder, how would we respond to that? And also just how would we define biblically what is a Gentile?
Yeah. So, you know, they really miss it on that one because, you know, after the exile, all of Israel is invited back home. The call is for all Israel to return. Now we know that all Israel does not return because the book of Esther, which is a great book, but during that time, it's, you know, she could have gone home. Mordecai could have gone home, but you know the wall probably is not repaired by then. The temple is not back up, so you know it's not like the safest place to go. So we get it. So some people stay put as to where they are. But the call is for them all to return. So I wouldn't classify them as Gentiles, as scattered Jews, those who did not return. The call is for all of Israel. God didn't say some Israel. The call is for all Israel to come back home. And not all do come back. Less than probably 50,000 do come back for various reasons. And so I would say the scriptures discredit that whole thing. The call is never for part of the tribe, but the entire, everyone to come.
Now, Now this is a very touchy topic even in Israel, right? When you hear about Gentiles. So does the scripture defines Gentile, right? Does the scripture defines Gentile, right? Because she said that Israel was never defined as being a Gentile. She said Jews, but when they say Jews, they don't realize that's only talking about the southern part of Israel. But as a whole, was Israel ever considered a Gentile? Now we go through this all the time. Like Gentile means Gentile, but not necessarily, right? You got to read it in its proper context, because sometimes it was talking about the natural Gentiles, and sometimes it was talking about Israel as a Gentile as well, right? Israel, northern kingdom, and sometimes southern kingdom that went through the time of Alexander the Greek, right? So what do y'all think? Is Israel ever considered Gentiles? Anybody?
Were they ever?
Yeah. Were they ever considered Gentiles?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But she's saying that the Gentiles is the natural Gentiles. That's not always the case. It's sometimes they was northern kingdom, sometimes they was southern kingdom, sometimes they was natural Gentile. I'm gonna prove a precept that it was when it was really talking about northern kingdom Israel. Brother Mike, can you give me that in Romans 9? Romans 9, start at verse 23. Romans 9 and 23.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 9, starting at verse 23.
Go ahead.
And that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory, even us, whom he have called not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles.
Okay. So right here he said, not of the Jews only, which only is the southern kingdom Israel, man. All right. And we got to understand the prophecy that the Lord had to come to the tents of Judah first, right? So he said, not to the Jews only, right? Brother Phoenix, can you pull that precept real quick in John 18 and verse 20? John 18 and verse 20. He said not to the Jews only, but also to the Gentile. So let's see why he said not to the Jews only, right?
It's John chapter 18, verse 20.
Okay.
It says, Yahweh shall answer him, I spake openly to the world. I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whether the Jews always resort, and in secret have I said nothing.
Okay. So when you Shalakia, the water. So he said he spoke open to the world. He spoke in the synagogues where the Jews always dwelt. When you go into that John 1 and 1, he came into his own. Well, Christ came to the Jews. He didn't come to all Israel, man. You see spurts of the Samaritans. You see spurts of the northern kingdom in the temple, but that was spurts of it. You didn't see them as a whole that Yahweh Shah dealt with. He dealt with the Jews. He dealt with primarily just the Jews, southern kingdom of Israel, right? So here it is in Romans 9 and 25. He said, even as whom he called not of the Jews only, but also the Gentile. Now watch what 25 say. Go ahead.
25.
Okay.
As he saith also in OC, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved.
So, Shalakia, the water. So 25 and 24, did the contents change there? If you read it in its entirety, Romans 9 and 24, even also whom he called not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. Watch this. As he said also in OC. So the content never changed. 24 and 25 go together. The content don't change. So What is Paul quoting there? What is he saying? Right? As he said, and also in OC. So give me that. Give me that Hebrews 1-10. So he referring to a precept that he said, as he said in OC, to let you know that these people that he said not they're going to the Gentiles also is the same people that's in OC. So let's go see who these people in OC, which is Hosea chapter 1 verse 10.
You said Hosea 1-10?
Yeah, Hosea 1-10. Okay.
Lock you up. Book of Hosea, chapter 1, starting at verse 10.
Okay.
And it reads, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
That same thing Paul quote. Keep reading.
Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together.
See that? Now you got Shalakia. Now you got the children of Judah, which is the Jews, and the children of Israel going to be gathered together. Right? And you can find out also that precept in Jeremiah 37 and verse 18. They're going to become one stick in the Most High hand. Right? Read on.
It say together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
So at this time, they're going to come from the land, right? They're going to be coming from these lands, and they're going to be saying, great going to be the day of Jezreel, Selah. So that's where you see a clear evidence that the northern kingdom was called Gentiles. Now, does that mean they were Gentile all over the text? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you just see an instance right here where the northern kingdom was called Gentiles. So that saying that they're not Gentiles, that's false equivalent. Anybody got anything else before we end, man? I know it's late. Shalakia, for the technical difficulties, man. Brother Phineas, you got some last words, brother?
Nah, I don't have anything.
Okay, all praise. Anybody else have any last words? Brother Dixon, Brother Mike, Sister Lisa, I think Sister Shayla gone. Let's see. Brother Thomas. Sister Shalisha, I think you got your thing on mute. Anybody else? Kind.
We had a good class. That's all I can say.
Kind. All praises to the Most High God, man. Hey, man, we gonna be out there tomorrow at 1 o'clock at the same spot, man, on Panola Road, man. I'm gonna be looking for another spot, man. I got to get some more dialogue. We need to get some more fishers out there. But the last minute thing, man, I've been working like a Hebrew slave literally this week, man. I wanted to go out there this week and try to find another spot, cause I want to get some more dialogue with our people, man. But yeah, the same spot tomorrow, man, at 1 o'clock, Panola Road, man, and Harrington, man. We gonna be out there bringing it out, man. And so yeah, get out there, man, cause y'all know, man, it gets so hot out there, man. Brother ain't gonna be out there long. Get out there, brother. Get out there, brothers and sisters. Come share, come chop it up. Brother Feeney, where you gonna be tomorrow, brother?
Walmart Victory Drive in Columbus.
Kind, man. Let us know, brother. When you when you want us to come out there and do that camp with you, brother.
Kind.
Let us know, man. So all praises, glory, honor go to Yahweh. So like I said, I apologize again for the technical difficulties, but we're gonna get better at this thing, man. We all new to this technology, man. I'm over 50 years old, man. You know, sometimes, man, you know, this stuff be it's like a fish out of water over here, brother, but the Most High we'll get it, man. So So all praises and glory and honor go to the Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatham, to all the Akim that pushing this truth with all truth and sincerity. I want to send a special shout out to my brothers, man, brothers at CSI, man, my brothers at Prince of Power, first and foremost, man, and all the brothers out there that's pushing this truth with all truth and sincerity, man. Y'all out there doing the work, man, with all truth and sincerity through the spirit of Yahweh. Amen. All praise and glory and honor go to the Most High. And we pray for y'all safe keepings, man. So y'all brothers and sisters be safe. To tomorrow, Most High willing. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatham. And Shalom, family.
Shalom. Great class.
Shalom.